Because over 40 years, God engineers a nation before he gives them land. You're not a country because you have a geographical boundary. The same way you're not a business because you have a website. You're not a family because a man and a woman are sleeping together in a home with a roof over their head. There is something called social engineering that must go into place intentionally before you can have a corporate entity. Thank you. Thank you. Social media, what are you guys saying? Talk to me, comment section. Let me repeat. Before you have a country, a city, a community, a business, even a family, Bella, getting married to your bae thing doesn't make you a family. That's why in church we ask you to start with marriage counseling. What are the principles upon which you will build your home? What is your shared vision, shared ideals? How will you run your finances? These are all the things that go into a group, a nation, whatever it is, a business. Anything that starts with C: company, city, community, country, clan. The vast majority of the nations of Africa were divided up by colonial masters at a European country or conference, by a papal bull from the Pope. So the church, that's why when you hear black people say it's a white man's religion, don't be too quick to argue with them. Understand where they're coming from. They know history, you don't. And people willy-nilly just drew lines. Divided ethnic groups. But like I told you, the nation is not the geographical boundary. It's what? What's the nation? You've forgotten. It's the social engineering of principles, concepts, rules, laws, and culture. Does that make sense? It's what happened in the wilderness when Israel was going around for 40 years. God was building a nation before he gave them land. In 1960, they gave us land. It took us 60 years to build a nation. Now the nation we have built and are still building is now coming for our land. You didn't get it. In 1960, they gave land to certain people. See, that's why they have behaved the way they did. It was never your country. It was theirs. Hear me. You were a subject in their country. You shared the same bloodlines as them. But the land was given to power brokers. But while the power brokers were governing, God was building nations. Through pain, through experiences, through shared history. And now the nations, God, through revivals of the kingdom, and now the nations God has been building are saying, give us our land. From people who look like us and have our surnames, but are not of us. So God releases the prince of the nation to war with the prince of the territory. Jem, let me try you. I said God releases the prince of a nation. Michael is the prince of the people. The Bible tells us of Israel. The prince of Persia is the prince of the oppressive force that governs the territory. God says there are divine entities assigned to the nation that are going to war with the entities the devil has assigned to the territory. And if you read down, let's go back and look at this real quick. If you read down a few verses, verse 20, it says, do you know where, it says, then said he, knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? Do you know why I came? Now, hear me out. I see you. Why did God have to send an angel to tell Daniel that he was heard? Daniel, prior to that, had seen or heard from God via dreams and visions, right? So Gabriel says to him, take that up a little bit. Gabriel says to him, do you know why I came? Now, if I were Daniel, I would have said, of course, to tell me what you just told me. But Gabriel is telling Daniel, no. I didn't come to tell you what I told you. Help me. I didn't come to inform you of something God could have given you a dream about. I came as an excuse for an engagement in the heavens. There are moves of God that have and will come on the continents of the world that are not about God just letting us fall in the spirit, not about us seeing prophetic visions and angels. Hear me. Those moves of God come as an excuse for God to engage. That's why we pray this afternoon, send your spirit. Gabriel says, I came truly so Michael could come with me to effect a regime change. He says, we're going to go back now and finish defeating. Look at verse 20 back on the screen. He says, now I will return to fight the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, when I have broken through him, the prince of Greece will come. Says, I show you these things that noted in scripture, but none holds me in these things but Michael, your prince. So he's saying Michael is not just a chief prince, he's the prince of your nation. The move of God, the messenger of God,